Hello everyone, and in today's lesson we are going to talk about CELPIP Reading Part 3. As you know that I have been recording all kinds of videos about CELPIP, so we've already talked about CELPIP listening and the previous two parts of the reading part of the test. And then in the next videos we'll talk about Part 4 and writing, as well as writing and speaking. So in today's lesson, I'd like to talk about some of the facts about Part 3. So if you remember that reading parts, they are very difficult, right? Especially Part 3 and 4. Parts 1 and 2 are better, are, I would say, more doable. So every part increases in difficulty. So part 3 is actually the longest text on the exam, and we have 9 questions, and for every question you have to match it to a paragraph. So a very long text. Usually this text concerns geography or history or biology or kind of more formal context, but everything is Canada related. So it could be about person, could be about an invention or some kind of natural phenomena. So things like that. And you got to be able to read that in a certain way. So we'll talk about the strategies before we practice today. Notice that the time that you have is also limited. So we only have like about 10 minutes. So technically it's roughly about 1 minute per question. So we have to know what we are doing exactly and which steps to take. So we'll talk about task format, how to scan paragraph by paragraph, and the main trap. As you could see here on the right, this is what it looks like. On the day of your exam, when you come, you will see something like that. That's from the official website celpip.ca. And today we'll do the same way. You will see the same output on your screen. You will see the small paragraphs A, B, C, D, and also you will see 9 statements just like that. This is how it is. And for every statement you are matching, right? Where do you see this idea? In which paragraph do we see this idea? If there is no way you can find this idea, so it's not mentioned, or maybe you found the idea, but it's false. It's not the way it is written in the text. So in this case, you have to choose option A. So if facts don't appear in the text, or if the information that we see in the statement was somehow changed, or it does not correspond to the same or very similar fact that we see in the text. So you have to check every part of the sentence for that. And I will show you right now. Here we go. So what to do, how to work with this part. Remember this and try this for yourself. If you were doing this the other way around, that's fine. A lot of people make the same mistake. A lot of people start reading and then they get lost in the information because these texts are very, very difficult actually. Not gonna lie to you. But we have this approach because we are pressed for time, so we start from the statements and we focus on the statements. So right side on the screen will be the first side to read. And then you work paragraph by paragraph. You read paragraph A and you try to think which of these statements can be matched. You read paragraph B and you think which of the statements can be matched. Each paragraph topic leads you to the right spot. So if those texts are very well structured and the very first sentence in every paragraph will tell you exactly what this is going to be about. The topic will be the same. So let's say today we'll read about a natural phenomena called Aurora Borealis, right? So everything will be dedicated to that. However, each paragraph will focus on a specific aspect of this phenomenon. And also, what I have mentioned before, when you read the statement, you have to check every part of the sentence to make sure that all of the ideas represented in the sentence can be found in the text. If, let's say, you cannot find some information regarding time or frequency, some traps like always, never, and you don't see that in the text, though something that is similar mentioned. So be careful. You have to check every sentence and you have to find the paraphrase for every word in the text. We will see together today. And if there's no match, you choose option E. So that's what you do. When you read with a purpose, you scan for keywords. You also scan not just for keywords, but for ideas. That's important because remember, this is part 3. Part 3 and 4 are the most difficult ones in this test. Yes, so in this part of the exam, especially, reading only consists of 4 parts. Parts 1 and 2 are pretty straightforward, as I've said. But for this one, always think about paraphrase. Always think about timing, yeah? And when you do these things, then you're going to succeed. Do not read everything in the order. Do not start reading from the text. This is just the strategy I offer based on my experience and based on the experience of my students as well, when we were trying to do things, one way and then the other way, and we see that the strategy that I suggest actually works better regarding timing and just overall understanding of the ideas. All right, let me show you this one. So we have this nice website, English Stoyanova. That's my last name. My name is Anastasia Stoyanova, just to remind you for those who've just come across this video, maybe. So, and this is my last name. And we have developed this lovely platform that helps you prepare for CELPIP. So if you just put this link and work with me, by the way, I will put this link into the description and you can find it right in the description to this video. So /app/ and yeah, the text, this is what it looks like. We are going to work in the practice mode. And on the platform, you can also work in the mock exam mode, which is also great if you want to just see how it feels to sit through the whole exam. But I'll show you a bit later, like our dashboard and what we have here. So we're going into part 3, and there are so many topics here. We are choosing the Aurora Borealis. And let me just show you this quick, nice picture. Here we go. That's what we have on the internet regarding Aurora Borealis. So that's just something that appears in nature. And we'll just read all about it today. Lots of facts. So, are you ready? Again, we only have it for about 10 minutes. And the way I want to make this video is that for every paragraph, I want you to pause the video and actually read it on your own, all right? So we are not going to include the reading time. So you have to pause the video, read, and then listen to my explanation of the answer. And I hope that helps. Otherwise, this lecture might run forever, if we read together. So just read quickly also. Pause the video to do that. Are you ready? 9 questions, 10 minutes. Let's go. Here we go. So, remember the strategy. We are starting from the statements. So there are 9 statements here. And in each statement, we are reading and we are trying to see the main idea, the keywords. So the first statement, the Aurora Borealis appears in a band-shaped region that encircles Earth's magnetic poles. So we are just focusing on this. So there is a band-shaped region. And the idea that it's about magnetic poles, yeah, so keep that in mind. You don't have to memorize. You can always refer. Of course, just like on a real exam, you will have the same way, yeah? You will see the statements on the right. They are not going to disappear or anything like that. And you see the texts on the left. So you don't have to memorize, but you have to kind of quickly think about these and find the keywords. So the second one would be interactions between solar wind particles and oxygen molecules at high altitudes produce green-colored light. Okay, so anything that has to do with colors, or numbers, so we are keeping in mind green-colored light in this case, and some particles, yeah, like solar wind and oxygen molecules. The third one, some northern communities have developed tourism programs centered on viewing the aurora. So tourism programs would be the keyword here. Number 4, heightened solar activity during certain years causes auroral displays to be visible at unusually low latitudes. So what can we kind of highlight here as the keyword. I would say heightened, so it means some increase in solar activity, heightened solar activity. And also I would say visible would be the keyword here. Yeah, visible, unusually low latitudes. So visible, yeah. Maybe the word years as well, because it's during certain years. Anything that has to do, like I said, with numbers and frequency, we always have to double check. Okay, moving forward. Once again, during the exam, and maybe for the purpose of this video, if you want to, you can even pause and read on your own. But regarding the statements, I am reading them because I'm trying to teach you this important skill of identifying keywords. And this is important because you have to work against time. So let's go into 5. So number 5, for many Inuit communities, the aurora has historically been associated with the spirits of deceased ancestors. So again, it's about communities and association, yes, spirits, and then deceased, so people who died, right? Keep that in mind. And number 6, permanent scientific facility dedicated to aurora research has been established in Yukon. Okay, so scientific facility in Yukon, right? And they study aurora. Number 7, the concentration of charged particles near Earth poles is a consequence of the planet's magnetic field structure. Take a look. What do we see here? So, charged particles, okay? And then the word consequence. So that tells us something. Keep that in mind. And 2 more. The solar cycle lasts approximately 11 years. Keyword, yeah, 11 years. We have to always check the numbers. Alternating between periods of minimal and maximal activity. Alternating, changing, yes? And then the words minimal and maximal. So also cool and easy to remember. The last one, auroral displays at lower altitudes can include rare red and purple hues. Okay, anything that has to do with color, please remember, that means that it might be tested, it should be tested, so keep that in mind. Okay, and here we have nitrogen molecules, not oxygen, not solar wind particles, but nitrogen molecules. Molecules. That would be our keyword. Okay, now what are we doing? We are working paragraph by paragraph. So we are going to take a look at A, and we are going to try and match it with the statements if we can. Sometimes it can be like that. Let me explain you one thing, and this is actually important, guys, because some people might think, okay, so if I have 4 paragraphs and 9 statements, it means that, well, one paragraph might be mentioned 2 times, right? And then there will be one that is E. And that is completely wrong because there is no logic in how many times you can use one paragraph. You always have to rely on understanding the paraphrase and the ideas in order to match the statements, all right? So this is important. So what I'm saying is that paragraph A can be matched 1 time, 2 times, 4 times, I don't know, as many times as you need it, even 0 times, okay? As long as it clearly matches the idea. So now, please pause the video and read paragraph A only, and give yourself for about 1 minute, I would say, to read, so very quickly, okay? And I will explain to you if there's anything that can be matched to A. And there is, and actually we are lucky because for this particular exam, it doesn't happen like that. Yeah, always. What I mean, this particular task, we have a perfect match when it comes to number 1, actually, because look, it says that Aurora Borealis appears in a band-shaped region. And is there anything that we see about shape? Yes, there is. At the very end of this paragraph, we had a sentence, an oval-shaped corridor, all right, encircles each geomagnetic pole. And that's exactly the same idea that we have here. And that's why it can be easily matched just like that. And then, what else? If you keep looking at the statements, so you can, once again, if you wanna, you can pause the video and read through them quickly again, because probably you're doing this task for the first time and you can't give yourself more time because we're just practicing. But if you cannot see straight away, that's fine. On a real exam, sometimes if you cannot see straight away, then you keep moving to part B, to paragraph B. But in this case, let me give you a hint here. There is actually one more statement that matches paragraph A. If you take a look at this number 7, the concentration of charged particles near Earth's poles is a consequence of the planet's magnetic field structure. Was there anything about magnetic field? We had magnosphere, right? Anything else about concentration? Did we have the word concentration? Yes, concentrated. We have the word, the result is a concentrated flow. You see, consequence, this is actually a paraphrase, the result of. So if you reread this part here, this part here, these sentences, you might understand that actually it's a clear paraphrase. Notice, the concentration of charged particles near Earth's poles is a consequence of the planet's magnetic field structure. This is exactly what we have in the text. We have the word particles. Earth's magnetosphere deflects the majority of these particles, yet funnels substantial portion toward the polar regions. And then the explanation, the result is a concentrated flow of energetic electrons and protons. You don't have to understand these words, but you have to be able to find the key words and their paraphrase. And that's why number 7 can actually be matched to paragraph A. So far, so good. And at this point, even if you found just one, that's fine. Move on, because, by the time you are done with paragraph D, you can easily match most of the statements, I would say. And then if you are in doubt, you can always go back and reread or even take a guess if you're pressed for time. Because see how fast time goes. We already have 1 minute left. But anyway, we are discussing together and I'm explaining to you in detail. That's why, of course, we need more time. However, I want to point out that if you do it on your own at home, the platform gives you all explanations when you click next and review results. It will give you all the explanations I'm giving you right now. Literally, just like that, yeah? Okay, so let's go into paragraph B. So pause the video, read the paragraph, try to match it before I talk about the answers, okay? Just give yourself some time. Okay, now we are talking about the paragraph B, and question 2 actually can be matched with paragraph B. Why? It talks about interactions between the particles at high altitudes, and it talks about green-colored light. Notice that in the text, we have exactly that, but instead of the word color, we have the word glow. So this sentence here, oxygen atoms above 100 kilometers emit the characteristic green glow. So that's exactly the idea that we have in the statement. Is there any other statement that you see that can be matched easily with paragraph B? If no, we move on. What do you think? Was there any other statements? You can look at the statements again, pause the video, take a look. So we have already matched 1, 2, and 7. And the answer is yes. So we have statement 9. Auroral displays at lower altitudes can include rare red and purple hues produced by nitrogen molecules. Take a look here. We had nitrogen molecules as the key word, and we also have the colors, violet and purple fringes. And then what else? We have red as well, I believe so. Violet, purple fringes, and somewhere I saw, here we go, red, crimson red hue as well. So you see, now we have matched almost half of the statements. Yes, so that looks great, and our brain is also happy because we've accomplished half of the task. We are reading paragraph C right now. Please pause the video and read the paragraph carefully, and let's find which statements can be matched to this paragraph. Okay, are you ready? So you would think, yeah, probably statement 3, but no, guys. Actually, it's not always like ABC, right? So no, the answer is no. But there is one statement regarding, I'm dropping you the hint, regarding the communities, Inuit communities, and that Aurora has historically been associated with the spirits of deceased ancestors. And that was just like that. You cannot skip this one because in the text it's actually very straightforward. They use the same wording even. It's very rare, right? Deceased ancestors. We see deceased ancestors engaged. The movement across the sky interpreted as the form of communication. So that's why we can surely choose that and match it with paragraph C. Was there anything else, paragraph C? Take a look at the statements that we have left. No? Actually, no. There is no other match for C. So you see, it can be like that. Paragraph C, one paragraph can be matched only once. Yeah. I would say rarely there is such a thing when we cannot match a paragraph whatsoever. Usually the paragraph at least can be matched once, usually like a normal practice, what I've seen from the official exams, what we have designed. But be ready, you know, like I said, as many times as you need it. It can be used 2 times, 3 times, at least 1 time in most cases. Don't forget about E though. Not given in any of the above paragraphs. We will have that today as well. So the last paragraph, please pause the video, read the paragraph, and then we are trying to match 3, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, so 3, 4, 6, and 8. Is there anything about tourism programs? So we have read all 4 paragraphs so far. If you want to go back, and I can show you here, you can pause the video. I'm scrolling back up. You can pause and reread. There was nothing about tourism programs, so we can choose not given for number 3. That's done. And as for D, number 4 can be matched to D. Let's see why. Heightened solar activity during certain years causes auroral displays to be visible at unusually low latitudes. So first of all, let's find, was there anything about heightened solar activities? Was there any, exactly, it was a little bit of a paraphrase here. During the solar maximum, it said. And it explains what it means. Period of heightened sunspot, frequency, intensified magnetic eruptions, blah, blah, blah. And then we have visible at unusually low latitudes, right? That's what it says here. Visible across, they have not changed the same wording. Southern Ontario, Quebec, and even the northern United States. So this sentence here tells us the answer and is a justification for our choice. And now let's check 6 and 8. Permanent scientific facility dedicated to Aurora. Research has been established in Yukon. Was there anything about Yukon whatsoever? Nothing. Nothing. If you remember again, and I'm scrolling back up to paragraphs A or B, and you can pause the video and reread them, there was nothing mentioned, and we can be sure that it's not given, you see? So we've chosen it 2 times. And the last one to check, it's actually number 8. Can we match it to D or not? Or maybe we can match it to something else. The solar cycle lasts approximately 11 years, alternating between periods of minimal and maximal activities. Did we have 11 years? Yes, 11-year cycle alternates. And then you see we are lucky because there is no paraphrase here. This one is pretty straightforward. But again, always be prepared for a certain paraphrase. So we are going to put D here. And now, guys, are you ready to click next and review the answers? I am so ready. Yay! So, what do we have here? Yay! We have 9 correct answers. All of them are correct. And you can even click here and read the passage, read the parts, the questions again. So that's great. That's great. And as you could see, we have explanations, right? And if you want to see the passage itself, you can click here, open in a new tab, and you can open it again, and you see that all the past attempts have been saved. And if you want to look at the text again, right, and let's say look at the answers, yeah, you can open just them side by side in 2 tabs and look at them and analyze if you want. That's how you should work when you work on your own. That's how you work with the platform. And notice that for every answer, even if you chose wrong, it will explain to you in a very detailed manner. It will explain where the paraphrase came from, why was it not given, for example, right? Everything is explained here. Everything is explained. So I think that's great. I want to just tell you what else can we find on the website. So if you click here, you have part 3 course lesson. And for every part of the exam, you have strategies written out in more detailed way, more tips and tricks, even more than I've shared with you, because I only share so much, right? I only can share the main information. And I'm letting you explore the platform, explore the website. I want to just show you that if I click here and I click AI practice platform, here we go. I have mock exams, so many mock exams here. I also have practice. I have all kind of practice. That's what we were doing actually for every part of the exam. I will be showing you writing and speaking in the next videos, so stick around or take a look at my YouTube channel. You will see that there. So we have analytics, and what's importantly, we have guide, and this guide tells you where to go on the platform. We have courses with theory, with all the strategies you need. For writing and speaking, you have templates, and you can practice in 2 modes, practice mode and exam mode. Exam mode just with full time length mock exams, if you just sit down and train your concentration as well as timing for every part of the test. So please check it out. I will show you again. The website is this one, and it will be linked into the description of this video right there. English Stoyanova, that's my last name, my family name, stoyanova.ca/app/. Please check it out. I hope you enjoy this video. In the next video, we'll talk about reading part 4, and we'll practice and do it together. And then we'll do the most fun parts for most people and the most challenging ones, writing and speaking. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Stick around, go check my website and our platform. And I'm wishing you good luck on your exam, good luck with your practice, and see you in the next video, guys. Bye.